Hello and welcome back to the channel, everyone. I am Shokari, coach for the Showtime Mr. Mimes, and we are back for Week 7, the final week in the regular season of the Dawn Draft League, hosted by Sierra Dawn and organized by her incredible team of mods. This week, we are up against the Contemptible Circhester Croissants, who have drafted Togekiss, Cinderace, Regigigas, Galarian Weezing, Suicune, Umbreon, Regice, Espeon, Wobbuffet, Butterfree, and Greedent. The past 6 weeks indicate a very strong pattern. For weeks 1 and 2, they brought the exact same team both times. For weeks 3 through 6, they then selected a new team that was then brought all 4 weeks, exactly the same every time. The remaining 4 Pokemon were never used. The Kartana was traded at some point, which is why they no longer have it. This brings us to a very interesting decision. Do we assume that they will use the same team that they have for the past 4 weeks? Will they revert back to their previous team, or will they try something new? I can't place my bets on any of these answers, so I must therefore assume that all are possible and must prepare like I would for any other week, because on the off chance that they do switch things up, preparing for one strategy will blind me to any changes that they make. That being said, there's relatively good reason why they haven't brought Wobbuffet, Regice, Butterfree, or Greedent. Wobbuffet essentially can only attempt to bring something down with it, meaning I can ignore it until it's their last Pokemon, at which point I can double up and KO it with no pressure. Regice is a very good special tank, but being pure ice gives it horrible defensive typing, especially against the likes of Charizard, Duraludon, or Mienshao. Greedent, okay, well I honestly don't know what this thing can even do outside of Belly Drum or Super Fang, but I'm assuming not much. Butterfree actually surprises me by being here, since Gmax Butterfree can actually be pretty good by spreading tons of status, or even a Choice Scarf Butterfree for a quick sleep powder is very strong. On the other end of the spectrum, Regigigas and Weezing are essentially guaranteed to come, having never missed a match and also providing a very solid duo. Regigigas started the league offensively, but for a while now has been played very defensively by our opponent. Conversely, Weezing began as a more supportive role but has shifted into a bulky Assault Vest user. Suicune is a very bulky Pokemon that can set up Tailwind and spread slows through Icy Wind, while Togekiss can boost up with Nasty Plot and proceed to sweep. A good note here is that Togekiss has yet to be supportive, even though it is fully capable of doing so. Cinderace seems fairly reasonable to appear, being able to outspeed everything that isn't Barraskewda and even outspeeding Whimsicott if led alongside Weezing to shut off Prankster. Umbreon has ran a support set consisting of Protect, Curse, Wish, and Baton Pass, and I'll need to check to see if they've ever brought it into any of the actual games because I'm very curious to know how that functions in doubles. Espeon was serving as a screen setter with Yawn support, so that leaves both evolutions without any ability to do damage. On my end of things, Barraskewda seems incredibly solid, outspeeding everything and being able to KO Cinderace before it can deal too much damage, or even Weezing with a Max Quake or Mind Storm to remove neutralizing gas. Whimsicott is also good for a similar reason, being able to use Worry Seed to turn neutralizing gas into Insomnia, as well as potentially turning off any of their other abilities while leaving my own intact. That being said, the past few weeks have actually seen Misty Surge Weezing, so this may or may not actually come up. Mienshao seems pretty reliable as well, with Fake Out being immensely good against things like Weezing, Togekiss, or a support, while also having very good damage into a lot of their team with a very strong close combat. Knockoff would also just be very nice here. Trick Room could actually really work here, as my opponent can't deny it without the use of Taunt, which they don't run. Hatterene would need to be the sweeper of choice since Magic Bounce can reflect status moves like Yawn, which Snorlax doesn't really handle very well, although if we can get Belly Drum running, Snorlax's damage output would be unmatched. Charizard could work very well in the late game once Weezing is taken care of, especially if we can also set the sun up. Duraludon offers a very strong offense itself, with very good coverage into most of their options. Latias is not necessarily a pass here, it actually could work fairly well. I'm just unsure of the damage calc, so I need to see how well it can actually do. It has a very wide range of coverage and could possibly be very good into our opponent. Dugtrio's pretty good into Weezing, and that is about it. Unfortunately, given how we have to look at things this week, I'm going to need my options to be significantly more flexible than just that. Manectric doesn't really do a lot here either. It does have better matchups than Dugtrio, but it does not have the damage to deal with how bulky my opponent's Pokemon usually are. After a final review and some damage calcs, I've decided to go with Whimsicott, Mienshao, Barraskewda, Latias, Dusclops, and Snorlax. Whimsicott has Tailwind, which, while not essential, lets us have some advantage if they try to max Airstream or set up their own Tailwind through Suicune. Fake Tears is absolutely key here, giving Latias the ability to KO the vast majority, if not all of their team, by bolstering her super effective attacks. Helping Hand is for everyone else, and Worry Seed shuts off neutralizing gas if it shows up. Bianxiao is Choice Banded, which allows it to KO max HP non-Dynamax Regigigas, which is to say what they've brought the past 4 weeks. It won't KO Gigas if it Dynamaxes with or without the HP investment, but that's okay. Everything else is for coverage, and Knockoff is just very nice to have. Barraskewda can absolutely one-shot Cinderace without Focus Sash, which it doesn't usually run, as well as Weezing. Regardless of Weezing's ability, we should be able to have Regigigas' slow start active, seriously hindering it and giving us more time to deal with it or the things around it. Latias is the crux of the team, outspeeding everything that isn't Cinderace and nuking everything with Fake Tear support, even the Suicune that likes to boost its special defense with Misty Seed. Thunderbolt provides the coverage we need for both it and Togekiss, while Psychic handles Weezing and Draco Meteor deals with everything else. Snorlax makes a return because it actually can handle Regigigas, by having excellent bulk and Belly Drum giving it the edge it needs. Between the defensive investment and the Figgy Berry, Gigas and Weezing should not be able to KO it, and I should also be able to get Belly Drum and Trick Room up safely. Wild Charge gives it another option for Suicune and Togekiss, although Gmax Replenish is actually probably good enough for everything, but you can never be too careful. Hatterene didn't come simply because it does not deal with Regigigas as well as I would like, especially offensive Regigigas, so I needed something that would be a little bit better in the scenario. Dusclops is doing Dusclop things, but now I have actually done a mixed investment into the defenses, skewing more towards physical defense since my opponent's special attackers are not as powerful. If you guys are enjoying the analysis so far, be sure to like the video and consider subscribing if you want to see more of my Dawn Draft League content. I'm very positive that due to our performance last week, I'm guaranteed a playoff spot regardless of how this match goes, as I am currently sitting in second place of my group at 2 points, with our opponent in third place at -3 points. As a win gives 1 point and a loss removes a point, going 0-2 puts me at 0 and our opponent at -1. I still want to try my best despite this, however, as there's never an excuse to slack off and my opponent deserves all the respect that they are due. So with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into Game 1 of our match against the Contemptible Circhester Croissants. Alright, so it is Regigigas, Galarian Weezing, Butterfree, Togekiss, Umbreon, and Suicune. The Butterfree is the only thing here that I wasn't entirely expecting, but it makes sense to bring Butterfree. Butterfree is actually very strong here, so that begs us a really good question of what do we lead? They don't have the Cinderace, which is good, which means we don't have anything outspeeding the Whimsicott. Barraskewda feels fairly good here. It's hard to know if the Butterfree will be sashed or not. So actually, I think Latias is actually really good here. And Barraskewda is good in the back, and Bianxiao is probably also fine. No need to start off with Trick Room just yet. We'll see how things go. I know I do tend to keep Trick Room in the back as kind of like a backup plan. I don't see a reason for him to lead anything out of the ordinary. It's either Weezing Gigas or Weezing Butterfree, I would assume. Maybe Suicune and something, but Gigas Butterfree. Okay, so he is not using Gigas as a sweeper. I think then I'm fine with a Fake Tears into actually a Max Lightning, just so they can't get, they can't Sleep Powder. I mean, it's most likely Max Butterfree, right? Now it kind of makes me wish I had kind of makes me wish I had Safeguard. But maybe it's not Focus Sash Butterfree. I'm over here assuming it's Focus Sash Butterfree. It probably even isn't. He hasn't run a Focus Sash or anything yet. Butterfree would be by far the best candidate for it, but it's also likely that he just isn't doing it. Now, is he Scarfed is the big question. Okay, he's maxing it. It looks like it's the Butterfree. Be interesting if it was Gigas. Yeah. Okay, that's kind of what I expected there, based off the lead. So if it's not Focus Sash, we just KO the Butterfree. Praying it isn't. And if it is, then the status that I hope we get is actually Poison, assuming it doesn't kill us either. Okay, I don't think that was Focus Sashed. It was. Okay, yeah. Well, maybe it's attacking the Whimsicott instead. That would actually be preferable. It's probably a Latias. I don't think we survive this. Oh, we do. Okay, that's actually really good. Gigas probably has knockoff in that case. We are put to sleep. That is very unfortunate. I actually probably could have put Worry Seed on my own Latias. Actually, yeah, it becomes Insomnia, so then I'm not sleeping, right? That's how that works. Let's pretend that that's how that works. I actually don't know how that... I actually don't know how that interaction works out. Awesome! Okay, that's really cool. I actually really like that. I'm glad that worked out. So now we can actually lower Regigigas' attack. So if it does go for a knockoff onto Latias, that it shouldn't kill us, hopefully. That's actually really cool. Okay. Well, now I know how to stop this lead next time. Okay, that's really cool. Yeah, that KO's Whimsicott, but that's fine. We can just bring in Mian Xiao, actually. Okay, it is Life Orb Gigas, but his damage just isn't great. We'll actually do Barraskewda. Suicune. I'm fine actually doubling up into the Suicune. This is turn 3 of Slow Start. With the Electric Terrain boosting this should be enough combined with Drill Run. Okay, they protect the Suicune. Probably should have seen that coming. They probably double protect, actually? No? Okay. Darkest Lariat. Okay, yeah, we're fine with the attack drop we got from Wormwind. So what's in the back? I would assume Weezing at this point. Let's see how much a close combat does to you. And then a Thunderbolt on the Suicune. Almost kills it, so Life Orb damage will KO it here. If Barraskewda faints, so be it. Now what are we doing to the Suicune? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, if you hit into Barraskewda, that's fine. If you don't, that's also fine. Okay, so Barraskewda and Mian Xiao should be really good in this late game against our last Pokemon, whatever it is. Togekiss is likely. It's Togekiss or Weezing. I don't see them having brought Umbreon. It is wheezing. Do I have anything for that on Mian Xiao? I have Poison Jab, which is neutral, because Fairy is weak to poison, and poison resists poison. So there is that. I mean, Stone Edge is cool, but that could miss. But this should be enough. This should be fine. Okay, that's a little over half. That isn't great. So what's this? I am Choice Banded. Okay. I think this actually results in a loss since he uses Explosion. Because that's how Explosion works. If it's your last Pokemon, that counts as a loss. I'm pretty positive. But it was the Misty Terrain wheezing. Yeah. So I don't know if he knew that. It's quite possible. But that was a very interesting first game. Okay, so do we bother with Trick Room? Because neither Snorlax or Dusclops would like to be hit with status. Let's see, what could he lead differently into that? Umbreon's possible. Actually, I think I'm fine with the exact same lead. There's no reason to not bring that again, in all honesty. I think that actually worked out really well. Okay, he's very confident in whatever he's bringing. It's probably the same thing. He probably thinks he can just play it a little bit differently this time, I would assume. But let us find out. Yeah, the first game was just really interesting. It's nice to know that giving Insomnia to something asleep will wake it up. That wasn't something I was aware of. I was just assuming that that's how it worked. Okay, Wheezing Suicune. Now, Misty Explosion would probably KO Latias here, so let's go for a Fake Tears into a Max Mindstorm. Actually, we can just change the terrain. Misty Explosion won't KO us, but will KO him. That sounds fine to me. Now, he probably also has Strange Steam, but yeah, because it's possible. It's likely that Suicune goes for a Tailwind, thinking that we're going to be preoccupied with the Wheezing. That makes sense to me. Okay, no Protect. So, if my calculations are correct, this does KO the Suicune. Because he's running physically defensive Suicune, and he's using Misty Seed to boost his special defense, which is uninvested otherwise. So now, Misty Explosion does not double in damage for being on Misty Terrain. It is Strange Steam, don't confuse. Okay, that's good. That's good. This is Regigigas. We don't have to focus it right now. I am fine with a Fake Tears into the Wheezing. KOing it. And then we can work on Regigigas next turn. It is likely Butterfree in the back. Butterfree or Togekiss. probably Regigigas, I would assume. Unless he wants to preserve the Weezing. It is the Regigigas. We should be fine, because we're about to cut its attack in half because of Slow Start if we KO the Weezing here. Or no, Slow Start's already active, so maxing really doesn't make too big of a difference. And I'm very positive it's Assault Vest Weezing like it has been. So I think he changed things up a little, but I don't think he changed things up enough. Because so far, our damage has been according to calculation. Because I actually had a different team planned up until yesterday. And then I realized, you know what, I think things are going to change a little bit, so I need to work on my calcs. Yeah, this Whimsicott has no defensive investment whatsoever, so that's just the slow start on the Weezing. Maxed with a Life Orb, it can't even KO an uninvested Whimsicott. Let's see. Let's go ahead and... yeah, we just don't have anything really good here. I'll Worry Seed the Butterfree. I don't know. Oh crap, I wasn't paying attention to what I just did. But maybe now its Sleep Powder won't be very accurate. Okay, I mean, that's kind of okay. I'll just take damage into Weezing. And, like, Latios is about to lose its Dynamax, so, like, still hits. I mean, okay. Gigas is attacking the Whimsicott. That's fine, though. I will preserve Mienshao. Should have Worry Seeded my Latios. That would have made more sense. I wasn't paying attention. But that's fine. Just go for a Liquidation into the Butterfree. Also a Thunderbolt into the Butterfree. Maybe I can wake up like early, that'd be cool. Max Darkness. I mean, KOing the Latios only helps me. And the Barraskewda is now grounded on the Max Lightning, so Sleep Powder is not going to go through. That's the end of Gigas' max. He should definitely be low enough for Mienshao to come through. I didn't see what Butterfree did. That's fine. So close combat into it. Start attacking the Butterfree. Oh, that only did that much? Okay. Does Gigas protect? It's possible. No protects. That's good. Like to see it. Okay, Butterfree's down. And come on, Choice Band close combat. You gotta do it. Nice. Okay. Alright, and that concludes the regular season for the Dawn Draft League. Alright. So, with that, we are now absolutely secure in our playoff spot. Yeah, so now all that's left is to figure out who our opponent is going to be in the quarterfinals of the playoffs. The playoffs are going to be single elimination style, so if you lose, that's it, you are out. so we have to be that much more careful going forward. Thank you guys for joining me for this. If you guys have been enjoying the videos and you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next week for the first round of quarterfinals for the Dawn Draft League. Take care.